Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, and we are on to Gatecrash, single elimination. So this is the set that came out after Return to Ravnica. We're going to have 5 different guilds that we're dealing with this time, and 5 new mechanics. So I like both of these formats just because they have a lot of different mechanics to play around with, which is a lot of fun. My personal favorite from this set would be Extort right here. You can see it. Artifacts and creatures your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. And on top of that, it's got this little extort engine, which is pretty good. Let's get the preview pane up. So I used to play Fire Fist Striker in Constructed. Battalion is good. So Ember Beast is fine. Executioner Swing kills some things. Grizzly Spectacle, 4 mana instant speed removal. Yeah, that's actually pretty good too. I don't know if I want to take the Blind Obedience here. I like it. I like Extort a lot, but I'd probably rather have it on a creature rather than an enchantment with a minor ability. So probably just take the Grizzly Spectacle. 4 mana, kill most things spell. There's not a ton of artifacts that I can think of. Plus, that mill effect actually can do a lot. You'd be surprised how much you end up milling for sometimes. So we're going to take the Grizzly Spectacle to start her off. Ooh, well, Thrall Parasite's a great one. We have this Dimir Charm. Let's see what this does. Counter sorcery, destroy a creature powered 2 or less. Look at the top 3 cards. Put one back in the rest of the player's graveyard. Okay. Reasonable. We've got this Pit Fight. Very good spell. Instant speed fight. Probably just want this Thrall Parasite. I like this card a lot. The tap ability is kind of whatever, but yes, let's get ourselves some Extort. So if I'd like to make an Extort deck, but there's also Dimir. Can easily run the Thrall Parasite, so we'll see. We've got let's see, Death Cult Rogue. I think this card's actually evading most of the time. Here's that Cipher ability I was talking about. So this is kind of weird. You exile this spell and you encode it on a creature you control, and then whenever they deal damage to the player, you get to cast it again. It can be very powerful. I'm going to take the Parasite here. Get our first Extort. Okay. Shadow Slice is surprisingly a good way to kill somebody. Albeit at a high price tag. It doesn't appear that there's a lot going on here though in this pack. Probably, I mean, we could take Aerial Maneuver. It's a combat trick. Like I said, I kind of want to be black-white. We've got Corpse Blockade, which I guess is actually a pretty reasonable spell. If you're trying to sit behind Extort, can do some work for you. Shadow Slice, I suspect we're going to see a lot later. Could also just take the Guild Gate, open us up for a red splash. It's not the worst idea I've ever had. I don't know if I prioritize Aerial Maneuver, Corpse Blockade, or Shadow Slice that highly anyway, so let's just take the Guild Gate. Ooh, Foundry Champion. 6 mana, 4/4, enters the battlefield, deals damage to target creature or player equal to the number of creatures you control. That's a good effect, and it's inflatable. Yeah, that might be worth a splash off a Guild Gate. But we do have this Orzhov Charm. This card's good. Turn target creature you control and all auras you control attached to it to their owner's hands. Destroy a creature and you lose life equal to its toughness. Turn target creature card is converted mana cost 1 or less. So I mean it's pretty versatile. Death's Approach. It actually works pretty well with Grizzly Spectacle. Boros Elite is good and aggressive. Doesn't work so well alongside these little 1/1s, though. Let's take the Champion. I think this card could certainly be splashed for. I don't think that's unreasonable. I think Orzhov Charm would have been a reasonable pick there, too, to tell the truth. All right, so here's a Syndicate Enforcer. We could just take that. Shadow Alley Denizen is actually not that terrible. Good way to push some damage through. I'm fine taking the Enforcer here. Not a super high priority Extort spell, but an extort spell nonetheless. Armored transport. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to it by creatures blocking it. Well, it's a good way to just get your battalion going. Sky Knight Legionnaire, of course, a great spell. Problem with taking it here is I don't want to splash it so it gets us completely off of our first two black picks. So I think we'll just take the Enforcer. And like I said, not my favorite since it's a little pricey. You don't get that much toughness. But Extort is good. So we've got Riot Gear. You can take the Denizen now. Shielded Passage is sort of a combat trick, but not my favorite one. Could take the Denizen. It's a cheap way to get Extort going. We already have a couple black creatures. It's not great, but otherwise I'm taking, what, a Riot Gear, which is also not that great. Guess we'll take the Denizen. I don't know if this is all that exciting for us, though. Okay. Here I'm fine taking the Death Cult Rogue. Like I said, it's a little overpriced for what you get, but it can push damage through. It's a combat trick. Gruul Charm. Skinbrand Goblin. Yes, Blood Rush. This is a great mechanic too. Gets +1/+0 and can't be blocked by creatures with flying. That is really... It's not even except by creatures. That's not that good. I guess we could take the Totally Lost. Might be Dimir that we can end up going into. We'll see. Psychic Strike. Gutter Skulk. All these are okay. We could just take the Skulk. It's a 2-drop. This is basically a harder to cast. Well, just as hard to cast, I guess. Cancel. No, I guess technically harder to cast if it's 2 different colors. And then it mills too, which is whatever anyway. I guess we'll take the Gutter Skulk. It's a 2-drop. So we can take the Metropolis Sprite. Can push some damage through. It's not great. Have this Midnight Recovery, which is good on evasion, of which we don't have a ton. Warmine Infantry is actually a good card. Good way to push damage through, but pretty far from that. Not really wanting to make a Rakdos deck here. I think we'll just take the Sprite. Might be Dimir is the path we end up going down. Okay, I guess. We wield the aerial maneuver. Didn't see a lot of other white, though. But it's not like we're entrenched in blue, really, either. I guess we'll take the maneuver. Millennial Gargoyle. 4-mana 2/2 flyer. Boy, that's not good. Gruul Charm's first ability is actually pretty strong. Mortis Strider. Not that good. None of these cards are particularly good. I don't think I have a ton of synergies with Mortis Strider either. I guess the Corpse Blockade is something you can do with it. Okay, so not the most exciting pack one. I wanted to go down an Orzhov path, but 7-mana 5/4 Intimidate. When it enters the battlefield, for each opponent, put up to 1 target creature card from that player's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. It's not bad. Agoraphobia is okay too. Probably just want a second Spectacle. Gorkland Rampager is really good. But Spectacle seems like something we're probably going to want. Kills things. And cheaply kills things and mills them. So I'm fine with that. Yeah, Blood Rush I remember being very good. This card's really strong, the Rampager. So Let's just get a nice removal spell here. Clan Defiance, man, this card is strong. This card's really strong. Can just do all three. The amount of value you can get off of that is pretty absurd. I mean, Hands of Binding is something, but may cast a copy of the encoded card without paying its mana cost. That works with Extort, doesn't it? Yeah. Dimir Extort can be a thing. We're so far from being able to play Clan Defiance right now. Cinder Elemental is also very good. Like Jund, I don't think is going to work so well for us, since none of those three really line up other than the green and red on Clan Defiance. That's quite the splash to make it work. I'm going to take it anyway, actually. I'm not even hating it. I'm trying to figure out if there's some possible way to splash it. Seems pretty unlikely. Well, Prism, I guess, is a start. Okay. Otherwise, we take Agoraphobia, which is actually pretty good, too. We only have a couple removal spells at the moment. Let's take the Prism. Let's see if we can't make some crazy thing work here. I have no idea how. But if we get enough prisms, maybe. Ah, yes, Mr. Krakenura, the Japanese businessman. I love this card. Okay. I didn't come up with that. Somebody left it in the comments so many years ago when I first did this format. So we'll take the Prism over the Hands of Binding. Duskmantle Guildmage. Whenever a card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, this turn that player loses 1 life. That's pretty good. And then it can mill. So it's got a cool little effect there. We can take another Gutter Skulk. 2/2's not super exciting. We could take an Executioner Swing. It does kill things. The problem is they have to deal damage first, which I'm not in love with. And I don't think we're white at this point. Somehow I think we're going to have to make... I don't know what we're going to do. So we could play the Rapid Hybridization. This card's actually okay. Better than it looks. But maybe we just want the Guildmage. This gets rid of Hexproof. Take the Guildmage. Ah, yes, Vizkopa Guildmage. This card's pretty cool. Coerced Confession. Top 4 cards of the library in the graveyard. Draw a card for each creature card. It's okay. Night Watch is actually pretty good. Get some Vigilance. Nav Squad, Commando. It's okay. A lot of just kind of okay things here. No Gate. Not super excited about any of these, really. Could just take the Guildmage. Okay. It's cheap, but has a lot of colored mana. Mental Vapor, Smog Elemental. This card's actually deceptively good. We have Death's Approach. Oh, it's creature cards, not just cards. Okay, well, that's a lot worse. Paranoid Delusions, if you want to do the mill strategy. Probably just take the Smog Elemental. I'm not sure we're going to be able to splash these cards I want to splash, despite having the Prophetic Prism. So there's a Shadow Slice now. I guess we could take. I mean, Cypher and Extort do work pretty well together, admittedly. Sage's Rodenizen's actually a pretty good card, but we don't have a ton of blue creatures. Frilled Oculus is great in green-blue. I like Rust Scarab a lot too, so a lot of good cards not in our colors. But I guess we'll take Shadow Slice. Alright, so second Smog Elemental. We have the Key Rune. Another opportunity to take this. Possibly splash for... Well, we don't really have a white card we're splashing for other than Vizkopa. I could take a second Smog Elemental. They are only a 6 mana 3/3 flying though. With upside, but it's expensive upside. Could take a second Death Cult Rogue. Or I could take the Gutter Skulk. Or Scatter Arc, I guess. I think we'll take the Rogue. Actually, we'll take the Key Rune. I'll consider splashing still. I want to live in a fantasy world where the splash happens. It's pretty efficient, actually, but as soon as it deals combat damage, it leaves. It might still be good enough. We'll find out. I've forgotten a lot of these cards. Beckon, Apparition, kind of whatever. Guess we'll take the Riot Gear. Another Totally Lost. Take the Skulk. Okay. So, deck didn't get too exciting off of there. I don't think we're going to play Coerced Confession. So, despite having a Prophetic Prism, a Key Rune, and a Guildgate, still a little unconvinced the splash is going to happen, especially the Clan Defiance splash, even though, like I said, this card is very good. If I could get another Prism, I still would consider it, just because the effect is really that good. But currently I'm a little unconvinced. Mental Vapors doesn't seem that good either. Well, Sacred Foundry is worth about 4 tickets, and it technically does help us. Daring Skyjack's a good card, and otherwise it would be another Prism, which I do want, but the Sacred Foundry still does help us cast Clan Defiance and Foundry Champion, and it's worth like 4 tickets. So we'll take it over Prism, even though I think Prism is better. For us, at least. This 5-alarm fire, right? Yeah. Could take the Dimir Key Rune. Could take the Arrows of Justice. It's a good card when you can cast it. We do have a Key Rune, a Prism, and 2 spell. Well, you could technically splash Arrows of Justice and not feel bad about it. There's nothing else in here I really care about. Dutiful Thrall, I guess, but that's not worth a splash. We're still essentially Dimir splashing for some crazy other colors. So let's take the Arrows of Justice here. It's probably worth the splash. I think it is. Okay, Edict. Guardian of the Gateless. I remember this card is really good. Yeah, that card's really good. That's good. We also have this Devour Flesh, which is okay, because you can do it defensively. Bane Alley Broker, I remember this card is good. Yeah, I think we take the Broker here. It's a looter effect. Can't deal damage, but it's a powerful looter effect, because you can end up getting the cards. It can turn into card advantage, which I think our deck's going to want quite a bit. So we'll take the Broker. Balustrade Spy is actually pretty cool. Keymaster Rogue's actually pretty good too, unblockable. And you can get some Enter the Battlefield effects, not that we really have that. You do have to return a creature, which makes it a little more difficult, but it's good for Cypher. But then again, so is Spy. You don't need to return anything with Spy, unlike Rogue. But Rogue is unblockable and maybe deals more damage. Spy blocks a little bit better. I feel like Spy might actually be better than Rogue, just because of no downside. And we don't have a lot of Into the Battlefield effects. We have a couple, but not much. I think we're going to take the Spy here. Dying Wish. Yeah, I don't know about that. Clinging Anemones. not that good. Burning Tree Emissary, I remember that. Mortal Servitude's not that good. It's kind of a weak pack all around, actually. Don't really need any of this. Could just hate something. We'll take the Emissary. Well, there's another Extort creature. Jeez. These have not been flowing. And there's another Sage's Road Denizen, which is okay too, but we'll take the Screecher. Gruul Key Rune to splash for Defiance too? Jeez. Still taking the Screecher. Okay. So another crack at Keymaster's Rogue and take the Executioner's Swing. Holy Mantle's pretty good, actually, but thankfully we have some removal. Probably just take the Rogue now, I guess. Over the Executioner's Swing. Splash is looking like it's not going to happen. I tried to make it work. Cypher's okay. Voidwalk gets rid of a blocker, which is actually decent. But probably still not happening. Well, Keyrune and Guildgate. So Keyrune helps for Champion and Defiance, and Guildgate helps for Champion, but not Defiance. I guess Guildgate doesn't take up a slot in the deck though. But either way, I don't think it's happening. Guess we can take Horror of the Dim. I don't think that's happening either. Martial Glory. Good combat trick. Alright. So, our deck's only okay. We have some powerful cards. I just don't think we're going to splash for them. So, I think, overall, I'm not super impressed with what we got here, but we'll see what we can do. I may still just have to splash for Clan Defiance and Foundry Champion. They're just, at this point, something our deck sort of needs. So we'll figure out what we're cutting and make this thing come together. Alright, let's do some deck construction. At this point, our deck is lacking enough pizzazz where I'm willing to try and splash for Clan Defiance and Foundry Champion, even though I think it's going to be a little bit easier said than done. So let's ditch Aerial Maneuver. We're going to minimize our splashing here. So Keyrune does splash for Champion, but the fact that it's just a mana rock that splashes for Champion makes it less attractive. I guess it splashes for Arrows of Justice too. So does our Guildgate and our Foundry though. Getting the green mana for Defiance is going to be pretty tough. And it's not like sadly, it's not like our deck is lacking colored mana spells. Like, is Vizkopa Guildmage worth splashing? It could be. But we're never going to be able to really activate both abilities, or pretty rarely are we going to be able to activate both abilities. I think we can ditch the Mental Vapors. It's just clunky. Probably don't want double Totally Lost. Probably don't want Riot Gear so much. Like, I'm willing to cut this. Probably don't need the Void Walk. Horror of the Dim is kind of unexciting. Phantom's a little bit. I guess it's okay, but I mean, it doesn't go anywhere until it attacks or blocks, I guess. Deals combat damage, so yeah. Mortis Strider's not really doing much for us, other than being a 3-mana 1/1. Debating whether we're doing 18 lands solely because we have some mana sinks, and we don't have any card draw though, really, do we? I guess not. I actually kind of like Shadow Slice. It's a way to put games away on like a Keymaster Rogue or a... You play it and your opponent essentially loses 6 life if it's cast on the right creature. You cast it, they lose 3 life, you get in with your unblockable guy. It can be like a 9-point swing, which is pretty crazy. 9-point plus whatever you're extorting to. So Shadow Alley Denizen is something I was considering because we have a lot of black creatures, but probably have enough evasion where I don't want to play a 1-mana 1/1 unless it has extort, because then it's a little engine that can. Horror of the Dim. Hexproof is okay for us because we have Shadow Slice, but overall it's whatever. I actually think Totally Lost is better than it looks, but playing 2 of them seems unnecessary to say the least. Yeah, I think we're going to attempt to splash Clan Defiance and Foundry Champion. Foundry Champion shouldn't be the most difficult splash, but we don't even have a lot of blue, which is kind of funny. Yeah, this deck is kind of a mess of colors, isn't it? All right, well, can we get away with 17 lands? I feel like we can't. Would I rather play the Horror of the Dim or the Phantom? I mean, Phantom's got a better body, but a 3/4 potential hexproof's not bad either, I guess. I probably would prefer the 5/5 that has to bounce when it deals damage, just because if it's dealing damage, it's probably doing okay for you anyway, right? I assume it trades or keeps back big things. Huh. Maybe cut a Totally Lost. Maybe cut the Horror of the Dim, I think. And I'm still considering just cutting the Key Rune. And that way, we probably have to run 18 lands to make this Clan Defiance work. So we'll run 1 Forest plus Prophetic Prism. Yeah, this is a little bit worrisome. Yeah, a little bit. We have some okay things in here too, though. Like Arrows of Justice, Grizzly Spectacles are good removal. Totally Lost is okay, and Clan Defiance is insane removal when you can get it working. We have a lot of mana to sink into it. This is crazy. Alright, well, we'll see if we can't make this work, I guess. So let's combine, check out what kind of colored things we have. If we can consider Death Cult Rogue a double black, these require blue, and then these require white or red, and this is off on its own. Oh, geez. So if we bring in our fixing, we have 2 white, red. All right, we need no plains, no mountains, 1 forest, and then, so this would be 17 lands. This would be 9 black, 5 blue, and you can add 1 to that for the prism too. So 2 green and 3 red. Yeah, I guess. I don't know about this deck. I mean, at the very least, it looks fun. We have some powerful effects in here, right? Problem is, we are a mess of colors. We're splashing hard to splash cards just because they're a very powerful effect. I mean, Clan Defiance late game is what you want anyway. Kill this, kill that, ATU, or something crazy like that with 10 mana. But I am concerned, to say the least, about this deck. So, alright. Dimir, Splash, Gruul, Splash, Boros. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. This should be interesting. Alright. Yeah, I guess this is it. We'll see you around 1. Oh, it occurred to me I forgot my last land. So 9 black. Let's add 1 more blue, I think. Because we have, yeah, 1 more blue or 1 more black. Because the only way we're going to be able to pay for extort is with black. So maybe we do want 10 black. It's not like we have a ton of blue spells anyway. We have very few. And we do actually have 3 double black plus 3 extort spells that we can basically only pay the... I mean, we have some... I guess we have 3 white lands to cast extort, or use extort as well. 10 black? Or is that excessive? Probably 9 is okay. I think we're going to have to even out this mana base as much as we can. So let's just add 1 more island. So this way, we still have 10 black sources with the prism, 7 blue with the prism, 4 white, 3 red, 2 green. All right. Yeah, this should be interesting. We'll see you round 1.